Go.
All right, so let's start at the top. So what is the equation for slope-intercept form, John?
Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. Okay? We know this. We're really good at this by now. Why is it called slope-intercept form, Blue?
Because the m is the slope and the b is the y-intercept.
Okay, but what does slope-intercept form tell us? It tells us two things. What does the b stand for?
The y-intercept.
Where it begins, right? So where a line, it tells us where a line intercepts the y-axis and how steep it is. It is, and which direction it goes. Right? Tells us all of those things. Just that one equation tells us all of those things. Okay? What does B represent, Madison Rathman?
It's your starting point, like on your y-axis.
It's your starting point. It's your y-intercept, right?
Yes.
I always call it the beginning point. B for begin, right? Beginning point. Good. Okay. What is a y-intercept? Andrew, what is a y-intercept? What does that mean? So it can be a y-coordinate. So here's my line. Where's my y-intercept there? Where that line crosses the y-axis. It's this point right here where they cross. Right? Okay, good. Dylan, what does M stand for? If the B stood for the intercept, what does M stand for? Think of a mountain. Slope, okay? Stands for the slope. How steep or flat it is. Because all mountains have different slopes, don't they? Yes. Some are little bunny slopes, some are the black diamonds, right, when you go skiing. How steep or flat, and whether it leans left or right. Whether it goes uphill or downhill. Good. What is the equation to find the slope given 2 points? You just took a quiz on this. Brian.
Delta y over delta x.
That's our simple one, right? The change in your y values over the change in your x values. Who is the one? Somebody uses the formula. Who is that? Oh, Sabina. So we can either use this. This is the simplified one. And what's the traditional equation, Sabina?
y2 minus y1 over x2.
X2 minus x1. And that just means the first point and the second point. That's the one, x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? How do we know if a point is on the line? Noelle? How do we know if a point is on a line? So say I give you y equals 2x plus 3. And I want to know if the point 411 is on that line. How would I figure that out?
Well, couldn't you do the, what's it called? The test, vertical line test?
You could graph it. That's one way. How about algebraically? What's a way that we can check to see if that point is really a point on that line? Vanessa?
You plug it in.
Plug it in. Good. So what's my y value? 11. And when I plug these in, what do both sides of my equation have to be?
Equal.
They have to be equal. Good. So 2 times, what's my x value?
4.
4 plus 3. What's 2 times 4?
Isn't that a negative? Oh.
Yep. What's 2 times 4?
8.
8 plus 3?
11.
11. So that checks out. So that is a point on the line, on that line. Okay? Good. So on 7a, I would like you to go ahead and check to see if 3, 2 is a point on the line y equals negative 2x plus 8. Okay? So all of you do that now, please. Okay, Marquez, this is all yours. Is point 32 on the line negative 2x plus 8? How am I going to check that? What do I do with those points right there, with the 3 and the 2? Plug them in, good. So what's our y value? 2 should equal negative 2 times 3 plus 8. What is negative 2 times 3? Negative 6 plus 8. What's negative 6 plus 8? Or 8 minus 6? Marquez, what's 8 minus 6? 2. So 2 equals 2, always and forever. So yes, that is a point on the line. Is on that line. Okay. Because when we substituted both sides are equal. That's the kicker. They have to be equal, correct? Good. Okay, flip to the second page, please. Okay, so now we need to get into, well, we'll have one more of those. Okay. Let's do one more of those practice. And Peyton, this one's yours. Okay? So, how am I going to check to see if the point negative 1, negative 2 is on the line y equals x minus 4? How am I going to do that? Plug it in. So what's my y value? Negative 2 equals, what's my x value? Negative 1 minus 4. What's negative 1 minus 4? Not negative 2, right? So those are not equal. It is not a point on that line. On. Okay. Good. It is, oh, not a point, thank you, on that line. You understand why I could not ever be an English teacher, not be good. Miss Busher and Miss Wright are very good at it. They can keep their jobs. Okay, how do you write an equation for a line if you only have 2 points? So now tell me something that you can find out if you have 2 points. So if I give you, let's do the one that we had the quiz on, okay? If I give you 12.3 and 9.23, what's something you can find with just, if I just give you 2 points like that, what's something you can figure out, Killian? What was your quiz on?
I was going to say you can use that.
You can find the slope, right? So you can find the slope of that, and we already figured out that that slope was 20 over negative 3. So you can find a slope, right? What is slope-intercept form?
Y equals mx plus
Y
b.
equals mx plus b. So far, we have a slope now. Do you have an x and a y coordinate that you could use?
Yes.
Yeah, actually you have 2 of them, right? You would just have to make a decision. So really the only thing that you don't know right now is the y-intercept. But you could use all of that information that you have to figure out the y-intercept. Okay? So let's go down to A and we'll practice that. Okay? So first thing we need to do is what? Your steps are, first thing you need to do is find the slope, which you guys are experts at now. So I want you to find the slope of the line between 1, 2, and negative 1, negative 2. So do that first for me, please. Mads, do you want to sit over here so you don't have to crane your neck?
No.
Okay. Gina, help me out. Okay, so to go, do you use the change in the y's over the change in the x's? Is that easier for you? Okay, so from 2 to negative 2, do you go up or down? Down how many? From 2 all the way down to negative 2. 4, good, so down 4, and then from 1 to negative 1, you go up or down? Down how many? 2, down 2. What's negative 4 divided by negative 2? Positive 2. Okay, so that's our slope. So what you really need to keep track of, what do you need to write an equation? If I want your equation written in y equals mx plus b form, what are the two letters we need to be able to find numbers for? The y and the x or the m and the b? The m and the b, right? Because y and x is in every slope-intercept form equation. It's always there. The m and the b is what always changes, right? And you can have y equals 2x plus 5, y equals negative 3x plus 1, y equals 1/3 x plus 12. Those are the numbers that are always changing, the m and the b, okay? So if you have an m, which now we have, so we have a slope, we need a y-intercept. Those are the two things that you need. So right now you have a slope. Now we just have to find b. If we can find b, then we can plug in y equals something mx plus whatever our b value is. That's our goal, is right here. Okay? So if I need to figure out b now, that means I need to know y, m, and x. Do I have a value for m? Yes. Do I have a value for x and y? Do I have a coordinate point?
Yes.
Does it matter which one of those points you use?
No.
No. So pick one.
First one.
First one. Let's pick the first one. I would pick the first one because it has no negatives in it. So let's go easy. Okay? So now your second step is you're going to plug in y, m, and x and solve for b. These take practice. If you don't get it the first 2-3 times through, don't stress out on me. Okay? These take practice. But they're really not that hard. They look like they're kind of complicated. You're just plugging in numbers. You have 3 of them. You need to figure out what the 4th one is. That's all you're doing. Okay? So, Paige, we're going to use this point. So, you're going to start with y equals mx plus b. What's your y value, Paige? 2. What's your m value? 2. What's your x value? 1 plus b. That's easy, isn't it? Is that an easy equation to solve?
Yes.
Okay, what's 2 times 1? 2 plus b. How do I get this 2 to the other side? Subtract it. Good. What's 2 minus 2? 0. So what's our b value? 0. So Victor, where do I plug in, which space is that 2 going to go into? In the first one or the second one? The first one. Good. Where's that b going to go? In the first one or the second one? Second one. So the equation of that line is y equals 2x plus 0.
You just leave it as 2x.
You can absolutely leave it just as y equals 2x. Yep. Okay. How do everybody feel about that?
Pretty good.
Pretty okay? Okay. Okay, this also wanted us to find a third point on the line. How could you do that? Pick a number for x. If you wanted to graph that, if you were doing a table of values like some mean math teachers make you do, right? Don't you just pick values for x? So pick one. So Noelle, what's a number? Pick a number. That's not 1 or negative 1. 5. Okay. So we have y equals 2x plus 0. Now you're going to choose to plug in 5. So our coordinate's going to be 5 something. We just don't know what. Right? Okay. So 2 times 5 plus 0 gives us y. What's 2 times 5? 10 plus 0? 10. So that coordinate, another point on that line would be 5, 10. Okay? And you could pick as many points as you wanted on that line. Just pick a value for x, plug it in, and figure out what its y partner is. That's it. Okay? Not so bad, right? All right. Vanessa, help me with b. So, what are you going to start with? I wasn't scared. That's what I thought. Okay, we're good. And we're back. Okay, so Vanessa, first thing we have to do is find slope. Remember your steps. Find slope. Find m, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so change in your y's over the change in your x. So to go from 5 to 0, do you go up or down?
Down.
Down how many?
Negative, or minus 5.
Down 5, good. And to go from 0 to 5, do you go up or down?
Up.
Up how many?
5.
5. What's negative 5 divided by 5?
1. Oh, crap.
Negative 5 divided by 5.
0? 5? No.
You were close with 1. There was just something a little off.
Negative 1?
Negative 1. Okay? So far we've got our m equals negative 1. You're already halfway there. You see how easy that is? Like you're already halfway there just figuring out slope. And now all you need is your intercept. Okay? So Vanessa, which point would you like to choose? 0, 5 or 5, 0? 0, 5. Okay? So you're going to start with y equals mx plus b, and you're going to plug in for everything but the b. So what's your y value? Yep, right here.
5.
5. What's your m value, Kylie?
Oh, -1.
Negative 1. What's your x value? What's your x value? Kylie?
Oh, 0.
0 plus b. What's 0 times anything? 0. So that goes away, so your b equals 5. Who wants to write that equation for me? Filling in the blanks. Blue.
Okay. Y equals, well, negative x, or you put negative 1,
Negative x or negative 1x
plus 5.
plus 5. You're just filling in the blanks. Isn't that odd that this 5 and that 5 are the same? What do you know about all y-intercepts? They have an x-coordinate of 0. All y-intercepts have an x-coordinate of 0. As soon as you see them with an x-coordinate of 0, that's your intercept. You don't even have to go through all that work. If you remember that y values have an x-coordinate of 0, this was your b, right there. Okay? All right, let's find one more point on that line. So, choose a number, Alyssa.
4.
Thank you, Alyssa. So, Alyssa's choosing 4. Okay? And now we're plugging into this. So we have y equals negative x plus 5. Where am I going to plug in that 4? For the x or the y? AJ, am I going to plug in 4 for the x or the y? X, good. So y equals the opposite of 4, negative 4, plus 5. What's 5 minus 4? What's 5 minus 4? 1. So another point on that line would be 4, 1. So this is another point. Okay? This is our equation. Y equals negative 1x plus 5. This was our equation for this line. Okay? Good? Okay. There's another equation called point-slope form. Why do you think we call it point-slope form? Because it has a point and it has a slope. Okay? We try to call them what they actually are. We don't try to trick you. So, point-slope form is useful sometimes. Okay? For some people it might be easier. And so this is your point-slope form right here. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. The values that you are plugging in for are y1, m, and x1. The y by itself and the x by itself never moves. That's the one that ends up in your final formula. Those never move. These three variables are changing. Okay? And because it printed at the bottom of the page, I want you to rewrite that at the top of your page here. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay? And that is point slope form. Okay? So, you're always going to start with that. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And this is just plugging in numbers. You're not even, you're doing no math at the first part of point slope form. You're just plugging numbers in. Okay? So let's read what that says. Write an equation in point slope form that has a slope of 3 and goes through the point 2, 4. So Brian, I just need you to tell me what my x1 value is, my y1 value is, and my m value. Okay?
Your x value is
2, good,
your y value is 4,
good,
and then your m value is 3.
perfect. Now when you go back here, you're just plugging those numbers in. Okay? The y stays the same, and the x stays the same. That doesn't change. Okay? The only things that change are your y1, your m, and your x1. Okay? So what's your y1 value?
4,
4. What's your m value?
3,
3. And what's your x1 value? 2. Beautiful. This is point slope form. Does everybody kind of wrap your brain around that? Does that seem easy or hard? Easy. You're just plugging numbers in. You don't have to calculate a thing. Okay? You're just plugging numbers in. If we want to, and we're going to do this on Thursday, you keep moving this around until you end up with slope-intercept form. But we're not at that point yet. Okay? I just want you to be able to plug them in and get there. Okay? Is the equation in part A the same as the equation y equals 3x minus 2? So I'm going to take this now, and we're going to just start with this equation and get it simplified down. So what's the first thing that I can simplify? The parentheses. Good. So Madison,
3x minus 6.
minus 6. This side's still the same. So if my goal is slope-intercept form, my goal is this. There's one more thing that has to move. What is it?
4.
The 4. How am I going to move that 4, John?
You're going to add it to both
You're going to add it to both sides. Okay? And you're going to add it to the other number. You wouldn't add it to the x because they're not the same. You can only put things together that are the same. Okay? So what is my equation then? On the left side I have y, which is good. 3x, and what's negative 6 plus 4?
Negative.
Negative 2. See those two steps? Point slope form helps you get to slope intercept form. Okay? I don't honestly know which one's easier. I think they're about the same. This one might be less confusing. Maybe. Depends on you. Some are going to see going straight to slope intercept form easier. Some are going to see point slope form easier. That's just going to be a choice. Okay, so we are discussing parallel lines and perpendicular. Actually, parallel lines we could do today. We'll leave perpendicular lines till Thursday. Tell me something. Last card. Oh. Macy, tell me something you know about parallel lines. They never touch, right? They never touch or intersect. Ooh, or. That's the wrong kind of or. Hello. It's like gold or. Goodness. Or intersect. Intersect, right? Tell me something else you know about parallel lines. Dylan. Something they might have in common. Killian, what do they have in common? They go on forever, that's true, without touching, right? Vanessa? There are 2 lines, yes.
Oh,
Killian?
they're vertical?
They can be vertical, they can be actually any direction. Sid? Their slope is what? The same or different? The slope is exactly the same, okay? Same slope. If their slope is the same, what's the only thing that's different about them? Their starting point. Good, Mads. Okay? Same slope, but with a different y-intercept, a different starting point. Okay? Good. So if you drew a picture of that, you would have something like this. Right? Those are the same slope, but say this one has a beginning point of 1, and this one has a beginning point of 4. Okay, let's say that's 0, 4, and 0, 1. Okay? And let's say the slope of those lines is I don't know, 2. Okay? So let's say the slope is 2. Who wants to write me an equation of the top line? Oh, thank you for volunteering. Jax. Okay? What's the slope of this line right here? 2. So 2x, and what's its intercept? Where's its beginning point? At what number? 4. Okay. Let's see. Andrew. What's the slope of the second line? They're parallel, so do they have the same slope or different slope? Same slope. So it's also 2x, but its beginning point is where? At 1. Okay? They're exactly the same slope, but a different intercept. That's it. Okay? Write an equation that is parallel to the line y equals 5x plus 3. What has to be the same in the equation that you write me?
The slope.
The slope. What number there represents the slope? 5. Beautiful. So it can be, so give me a different intercept other than 3.
2.
2. 5x plus 2. Y equals 5x plus 4. What's another one?
5.
Let's go negative. Y equals 5x minus 5. All it's doing is sliding up and down, right? Just sliding up and down. So here's negative 5, and it's a pretty steep line. That would be this one, right? 4 would be up here, okay? 2 would be right about there, the 3 parallel lines. And you could draw as many parallel lines as you wanted to. Okay? Refer back to this on your homework if you need to. I'm going to put it with your homework assignment, okay?